Tuesday.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I don't know what's going on.
August is nearly over. That's how this works.
Yep, it'll be over before it began. Wait, did it already begin? Okay.
Yeah, technically it's Tuesday. It's the second. Kind of works out nicely there. Also kind of works out nicely that Activision, although their revenue was, I think, down year over year, but they did beat...
Dude, it was half.
Yeah, they did beat expectations for Activision.
You have to think those were reduced expectations because this is not a company doing well at the moment.
Yes, and Microsoft is...
that's what happens when you go back to World War II, Brad. That's on them.
Mm-hmm. It's just like an ex-girlfriend. You've done it already. You've been through there. Nothing good's coming out of it.
Are we
Don't
still
text
wearing
her.
bell bottoms, really?
Don't text her. Don't call her. It's fine. Move on.
Yeah, the interesting thing about this to me is that Microsoft and apparently Sony are reaching out to antitrust regulators around the world to either squash or get them to approve this deal. And Microsoft made a comment like, they don't have any important games. I don't see what this is. It's not really a big deal. Sony's like, actually, people buy consoles based on the games, and yeah, I did not switch to PlayStation when they went when Call of Duty went to PlayStation, but I sure as hell thought about it, and I did spend, what is that on me? Just got in from outside. Probably a bird pooped on me or something. It's a controller thing. This was probably, maybe it was the early days of the PlayStation 4. I don't remember, but I really like Xbox controllers.
Yeah.
I just prefer them. So
yep.
I didn't switch. I just had to wait for DLC like a barbarian, watching screenshots appear, like levels I could be playing. Now it doesn't matter because now I just play an old game. But, at the time it was very upsetting.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. It looked like somebody put together, and these things are subject to change, but a bunch of the regulatory agencies, like when they were supposed to make decisions by, and a lot of them kind of aligned to around September. Now they could always come out and say, we need more time. But
and there's so many you have to get through. It's a big deal.
It is
a lot of money. Sony was kind of not bragging, but Sony pointed out they were able to close on Bungie a lot sooner than they expected, or they, whatever. But yeah, that's Bungie.
Yeah.
This is a big deal. So we'll see how it goes, but
yeah. And Google promises, at least tweets, that Stadia is not dead. They're really
right. It's like that scene in, was it Life of Brian or one of those movies? I'm not dead yet.
This is perfect. This is perfect. You're gonna love this analogy, Polish there. It is so perfect. Stadia is Google's Yammer.
Ooh,
perfect. We'll just end it there because it's. If you have to keep reminding us, it's not dead.
Okay. The only difference I would say is I don't understand why Yammer exists as a brand. I mean,
that's true.
Before Microsoft bought Yammer, they went to great effort to add social media functionality to SharePoint themselves. In fact, that was the last major update to SharePoint before they bought Yammer. And so I remember saying at the time, this is a company that does the same thing. You're just going to integrate this into SharePoint, right? And they're like, no, we're going to maintain a separate brand. And I'm like, why? In the battle of brands, it seems like SharePoint is the big one there. But yeah, no, it's still there today. I don't know what to say about Stadia. I feel, first of all, it's a good service, honestly.
Yeah, this is not bashing the tech.
For all the bad stuff that came out of it, right? The woman running the thing left. They stopped their in-house studio work, et cetera, et cetera. Honestly, it's a good service. It's not hard to imagine a future in which Stadia is the back end for other offerings from third parties, right?
And it already is. I mean,
right?
For AT&T.
Well, where that is in other words, where that becomes what Stadia is. But yeah, I don't know. It's understandable why people have some angst about it. Google does have a rich history of killing things off, for sure. So,
well, and there was also the memo, I think, from Sundar that just went out that says we need to be focused. Right. They didn't say layoffs are coming, but it was a real hey, we need to focus on things that are doing well for the company, And
well, then they should kill everything but ads. Because honestly, like even Google Cloud is only like a $5 billion business. I mean, I don't know. Google, like Microsoft, can make a case for this kind of cloud streaming, gaming thing because of the type of company they are. But honestly, Google can make a less of a case. I mean, it's odd that this company born on the internet is much smaller as a cloud player. Well, I guess. Well, as a cloud player akin to Azure or AWS, I'm not sure quite how to say that, but they are. And I don't know. You get rid of this, and I think it casts doubts on your ability to do other things.
Yeah,
that might play a role, right? I don't know.
I think that's...
Anyway, the point of this is simply this. Stadia is a good service. I mean, if you're kind of in the Android Google world and you have any interest in gaming, I mean, it's worth checking out. It really is a good service.
Yeah.
Then again, I don't know. You buy music from a service, it disappears. Music at least is DRM free, so that's okay. But buy games from a service and it disappears. Unless they do some kind of a deal with a third party, you're out.
I think they would be better off, and it's probably too late, but they should have just pivoted to a Game Pass style model.
Right, exactly. So where you don't buy anything. Exactly. Yep. And then at least what you've paid for is the experience of playing the game.
Yep.
But even then there are issues. You could be partway through several games. They have whatever version of achievements they have. And now you're like, what, I have to start over on some other service? Not just the achievements, but the game itself. I mean, and you get into a situation where, you want to do right by those people, but it's probably technically unfeasible. And these things all build on each other. This is probably the things we just discussed are probably the reasons a lot of people haven't joined Stadia. They're like, well, Google's going to kill it. Like, why would I? Yeah, I can't answer those questions. I don't know. It's no one knows.
Other fun things. IDC reports that Chromebook shipment fell 51.4% year over year to 6 million units in Q2 of 2022.
Yep.
Maybe not all that surprising, given we saw PC sales decline. So
a big fall. I mean, according to IDC, Gartner and IDC report computer sales differently. So one of the two, so it must be Gartner, does not pull out Chromebooks. They incorporate those sales into PCs and they look at them separately together. According to IDC, this is only IDC, tablet shipments were flat in the last quarter overall. PC shipments fell by some single digit, 6-9%, so I don't remember the number. And then Chromebook sales, 50-something%, right? Like 51, something like that. That's a big number.
It is a big number.
So to the people who are sort of Chromebook, anti-Chromebook, because they're out there for some reason, I don't see who would care, but this is like, see, I told you, or maybe this really is just an education child kind of product. There are people out there using Chromebooks, just like there are people out there using iPads to get work done for sure. Adults, with adult jobs and all that stuff. I will just say I'm fascinated by this platform. Every time I use it, I run headlong into the limitations, and I'm like, yeah. I just can't. And it really does come down to apps,
Yep.
And it's easier to go to a Mac. I mean, obviously you pay more for a Mac than you would for a Chromebook, and then you have to buy apps, depending on what the situation is. But, Photoshop's over there. I believe the Affinity stuff is over there.
Yep.
They have a rich selection of Markdown-based note-taking and writing apps, and there's a lot of stuff out there. And the Chromebook side, you're like, well, yeah. There's a couple of things, right? There's a couple of things, but I don't know. It's just I think it's a little too far of a divide for a lot of people.
Could be. Could be. Well, we'll divide.
I feel bad. I feel bad for Chromebooks. They're cute.
I almost said you are cute. That would have been weird.